Tyler by this Tim again. Here's another movie review, this time for VHS 94. I figured I would do this. This was pretty much made as a Shudder exclusive. For people that know what Shudder is, it's pretty much like an all horror streaming service. Um, so I figured I would review this one since I reviewed the other three VHS films. Now, just if you don't feel like watching my other reviews or whatever, just to kind of cap off how I felt about those other ones. First one I thought was just kind of meh, just kind of passable. I, I'm I'm going by memory here, so if you watch my review, I may have hated it. I don't know, but I'm not a big fan of this series. First one I thought was kind of meh, it's kind of passable. The second one I actually liked. I thought it was solid. Um, Number three, I remember thinking sucked. So I wasn't a big fan of this franchise going in. So I was kind of skeptical about this one. Going into this one, I will say it's better than Part 3 and Part 1. I would give it 2.5 out of 4. It's all right. I liked it as a B flick, which you can tell watching this. This is a low budget B movie, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like a B movie, I like B movies. I love them. I think they're really funny, especially horror fun B movies. And this has some fun to it. It's not perfect. There's some lame and weak moments, but as a whole, it's all right. The stories in terms of the movie or whatever are all told from like these VHS tapes that the SWAT team finds in this abandoned building with all these mannequins or whatever, and they start watching the VHS tapes, and you got like multiple different stories. You got one story that was extremely lame is this story about this girl. It's like the second story. It's about this chick who's in this funeral home, and she keeps hearing like noises, and the power goes out. She keeps wondering what's happening, and you kind of get where it's going. And she's just there by herself for most of the story, just talking on the phone, talking about how she's scared. It's really slow paced, um, which could work, but it's not interesting enough to hold my attention. But then you get to the end, and pretty much the dude just comes out as a zombie. He attacks her, a storm hits, it's like a tornado, and crashes the place, and she just kind of stumbles away. And you get the idea that maybe she's turned into a zombie now. It just ends. That's just it. Not much of a payoff. So that one was really shitty. Um, other the best one actually is this like Asian themed horror type story, body horror story, where it's about like this doctor who's like working on people and all that, and replacing them with like robot body parts, trying to make like mechanical super soldiers. This one at first I was like, okay, it's kind of a body horror thing. I've seen this before. Where's it going? It was kind of boring me at first, but then when I saw where it was going, and like the SWAT team showed up and like just blew the dude away, and then the SWAT team kind of becomes the villains because or the special forces team or whatever, because one of the people that he was working on is like this innocent girl, and she gets up and she tries to escape from there, and there's like this other one who's like went completely crazy, this other super soldier thing or whatever, and just like killing all the people, and um, like the leader of the SWAT team becomes scarier than the doctor by the end because he's like went insane, and he like grabs a hold of the robot girl or whatever, and he's like trying to beat her to death in a pretty cool like epic scene in the first person view. It was kind of cool. Um, and like the effects, every now and then you can see a little bit of digital trickery, but mostly practical, and the way they got it going and the way it looks, like look wise, it looks pretty good for a low budget B flick. It's pretty well done. Um, you get to the end though, the ending is kind of weak. Like you get to the main end, and the chick's like, "I just want to live," like talking to this other SWAT team guy or whatever, and he's like, "Me too," and they team up and they try to escape from there, and then that's when the leader or whatever like attacks her and starts trying to beat her to death, and he shoots him in the back, kills him. Then they get ready to leave, and the other mechanical creature shows up, kills him, and then she kills it by ripping its brain out of its head, which is pretty cool. After she's already been like severely damaged though, and she's dying, and you get the idea that she's going to croak, but then it skips like a few minutes later, and you see the dude laying there dead, her friend or whatever, the SWAT team guy, and then you see her like in the background, the robot version of her, whatever super soldier version, like walking off out of the place. So it just kind of ends. I think it probably would have been better if they all kind of died. I think that would have worked better. It would have been sadder and more poetic. That made me knock that story down specifically to like a 3 out of 4. But that was a good one. That could work as a movie. Um, Other than that, like the main last story is this one about this friggin' like militia thing or whatever. It's like these rebels almost or whatever, militia, crazy, like we're gonna bring the country back from the homosexuals and all that. Um, that kind of crazy shit. But they're trying to like blow stuff up and all that. And they got this dude hostage, and they like blow his brains out. And then, of course, later on, he transforms into a monster, and by the end, he starts kind of killing all the militia guys. It's kind of funny and entertaining to see like these over-the-top militia, well, not so much stereotypes because this is the way a lot of these like radical groups do act. So, but it is kind of entertaining for a while, but then it does kind of start to drag towards the middle. When you get to the end, though, and the creature reveals itself and it's like taking all the guys out, it is kind of entertaining. And the last guy takes him and like throws him into a room or whatever, and or where they had it hostage, or they had the guy hostage, or whatever that they killed, and it throws him in there, and it like detonates an explosive and kills itself and the dude too. Pretty cool ending, and then you get to the main last like wraparound segment with the SWAT team, and you find out like the chicks or whatever, the two female SWAT team members have like killed all the other SWAT teams somehow. These two 20-pound girls did this. I have no idea. But then they got like the last dude hostage, and they're like, "Now we're gonna make a videotape out of you. We were almost busted by our own unit." And they're like, "We sell these tapes on the black market." You know, it's really goofy shit. Some of the acting, like in terms of the SWAT team and stuff, is pretty bad. But at the same time, it's a B movie. You get what you get. Um, so you have to kind of grade on a curve. You get to the end, they got the dude tied up, and then they just like smash the camera into his head. That's pretty much where it ends. Like, what are we gonna call this? You know, this last tape, and then it skips and shows VHS '94. Yeah, pretty on the nose. So yeah, all in all, it's all right. It's nothing like mind blowing or amazing. It's all right. It's just probably my second favorite of these VHS movies. I still think number two is the most solid. I can't believe this is a four-film franchise at this point. Do I need any more? No, not really. Do I need this one? No, not really. But it's all right. I liked it. Would I pick it up when it gets released? Yeah, sure. Um, if it was cheap, probably like $5. But yeah, it's all right. I liked it. If you're a fan of the franchise, I see no reason why you wouldn't like this one. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.